Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So it is the end of week 1. Oh my god. It was a good week. It was a good week. So let's start off with number 1. So there's 4 things we're going to talk about in these weekly updates, and the first one is how much weight loss did I have. So this week I was lucky to have 6 pounds of weight loss, which is absolutely incredible. I'm so happy that I had that. It varies from week to week. Obviously, this is the first week, so it probably is going to be the biggest weight loss I see in a week, just because it's that initial, to this diet. So number 2, what have I learned and how did my week go? So I would say what I've learned really doesn't have anything to do with the diet. It really is more about, I am amazed at how much water your body retains. Not in a good way. I almost day 2 could feel just my skin feeling different. That sounds weird, but it was kind of like there was more room. Yeah, I lost a ton of water weight. Now that obviously sometimes translates to pounds, sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, my body just feels different. I lost 6 pounds, which is incredible, but I feel better than 6 pounds because of all the water I had lost in my body. And I mean, I just feel so much better after losing all that water weight. So my feet are almost back to normal. My ankles are almost back to normal. I'm really, really happy about that. So how did my week go? I feel like my week went pretty well. I had light cravings. I did well on my shakes. I had a couple moments where I'm like, oh, that stinks. I ate around somebody who was having pizza, and while that really sucked, I did well. I didn't exercise this week. I thought about it every day, but I never actually did it. So that's going to need to be something that I do more often. I have found, though, that I drink all of my water during the week when I'm at work, but on the weekends I struggle with getting my water intake. So that's going to be something that I'm going to look for doing better next week. Number 3, if there was anything I picked up from the meeting. So we had our meeting today and we talked about making changes, and you can see all of my scribbles around it. So some of the things that I kind of gained from the meeting, they're going to be kind of random, and they're probably not going to really tie together, but a few of the things were, our leader, Linda, really talks about tools in your toolbox. So what do you have in your toolbox that's going to help you, live the lifestyle that you want to live? So as an example, diversionary. So what are you going to use to distract yourself? So if you are in the middle of a craving or you're really, really struggling with something, what are you going to use? What tools do you have in your toolbox that you're going to use? So an example, am I going to start, my thing right now is scrapbooking. Not my thing right now. It has been for probably 20 years, but that's a distraction to me. Or watching Netflix, or putting something else in place of that. I'm going to go to food. So that's one, or that's one of the tactics. The other one is self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? Are you always constantly negative? I'm never going to get through this. Well, you're never going to get through it if you're going to keep that attitude. Exercise, I almost said socialism. That's not one of the tactics. Socialization, meditation, and gratitude prayer. So those are some of the things that you can have in your toolbox that will help you, move past this. So instead of eating, you go meditate. Instead of eating, you go exercise. And instead of eating, call a friend, something like that. So she talks a lot about tools in the toolbox, which I think is great. The diversionary thing, I think, is going to be for me. let's see, what else did she say? Oh, one of the things that she said around that was, that really stuck out was just because there are bad things that happen to you or there's bad things that happen around you, it's a frustrating day, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that I should let myself down. And I let myself down by eating the things that aren't going to bring me to my goals. I let myself down by eating the things that are only going to perpetuate the cycle. And then what was the other thing she said around that? Oh, what happened before it happened. I feel like there was another one in there. So talk about what happened, right? So I had a trigger and I ate, but what happened before that? And then what happened before that? So you have to look at why you ate. It's usually what happened right before that. Okay. So I ate, I was stressed out because I had a bad meeting, or, you're just stressed out just about stuff. So you can insert whatever you want. But what happened right before that? What got you to the place then where you were stressed out and then you ate? So you have to look at what happened, but then you have to look at what happened before that and then what happened before that. So then hopefully that helps you figure out a way that when you're in those situations, you can change it before it even happens. Those words were really easy to say. It's going to be hard to do that. What are some of the other things? Oh yeah, I liked this one. It says you will more likely be successful when you're happy. If you're constantly defeated, if you're constantly negative, your self-talk is diminished. And so you're never going to believe in yourself. You're never going to believe that you can do it deep down. You might say you do, but you really are never going to. So I like that. It was like she said something about a happy brain means that you have success in some way. She also talked about how food has met a need in your life somehow. So you have to figure out, how are you going to fill that need without food? So I eat because I'm every emotion. I have always put food with everything, whether I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm glad, I'm emotional, I'm frustrated, I'm ecstatic, I'm excited, I'm amazed. Like, I have put it with everything. And so I don't know how to yet figure out how to use other things, because there are things that are triggers for me that are worse than others. I do associate it with, okay, like you got a big promotion at work, so let's go eat, like as a celebration. Well, a lot of people do that. Food shouldn't be the celebration. It should be the accomplishments. It should be other things. So that's gonna be a work in progress. But anyway, she talked about separating wants from shoulds. So have you enrolled in this program because you want to change your habit, or are you here because you should change? Learning to distinguish between wants and shoulds is a skill you need to master in order to change your lifestyle. One of the things, there's a bunch of stuff we went through. One of the things in this section that stood out was that make sure that they're your shoulds. So don't just be in this program because somebody else feels like you should be this way. You should look this way. You should be this way. Be in this program and do this lifestyle change because you know you should. You're only going to get that commitment when it's for yourself. The other thing was just talking about goal setting. So thinking about questions like this. Do I want to reach this goal only to please someone else? That kind of goes into the other thing. But how often do I visualize or daydream about obtaining this goal? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of changing my habits? So she talked about this, is that it's important to identify these things because these are things you can also use in your toolbox. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to later this summer, fallish time is, going to California, going to Georgia, and really pinpointing those things. So for me, it's being on an airplane, being comfortable in a seat, semi-comfortable. I mean, I know I'm not going to I know I'm not going to be like skinny mini by the time in 8 months, but I'm going to feel better than I feel now. And that's my goal. I'm going to feel better about myself. I'm going to feel better about me being in that seat where I'm not going to have to go like this with my arms the whole time because they hang over the side. It's those kind of things that I'm focused on, and I'm so excited to be able to do something like that. And it might sound minuscule to you, but to me, it's a big deal. So I'm holding on to those things to kind of remind myself as to why I'm doing this. She talked a lot today about making sure that you know your whys and that you have them readily available to you. Because sometimes when you're in a dark moment or you're having a really hard time, sometimes bringing those whys out will sometimes focus you and not distract you, but completely realign everything that you know to be true. She also kind of talked about having built-in reward, like mini rewards, especially during this like program, because it's 12 weeks and you're not eating. One of the things that they talk about is, having mini rewards. So that way you feel accomplished at the end of the week. You feel like you gave yourself a kind of a reward in a way. And so that'll be important to make sure you do as well in this diet. I think that was pretty much it. She did talk about thought prompters. So if you find yourself, oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. If you find yourself experiencing writer's block, as far as journaling goes. So she was talking about journaling at the time, because journaling is important to try to figure out your triggers, to try to figure out what kind of thoughts are you having when you're in these moments. So that way you can use that as a tool for your future self when you're in those moments. Okay, so I want to eat, but am I hungry? Like all that kind of stuff. So here's some of those questions. How do I feel about myself? Did I encounter anything stressful today? How did the situation make me feel? What positive qualities do I see more clearly in myself? How would I describe my interaction with others today? So hopefully these will then be tools for you to kind of get to the root cause, and then your brain will start to shift. Hopefully the intention behind it is that your brain will start to shift, and then no longer are you going to put that with food. You're going to say, yeah, you're right. Like I had a really bad day, so I'm going to honor it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to get through it. And sometimes that will hopefully then help you resolve that issue. So the last thing that I would say I gained from the meeting, was when they talk about lapsing. Because we all have lapse in judgments. We all have these moments where it's an inevitable part of our lives where we're going to make a mistake. And it's what you do with that mistake that then shows, whether or not you're going to be on track. So one thing that she said is don't beat yourself up when you oops. Get right back on track. That is my problem, is that I oops and it just snowballs into a month. Or 130 pounds later. So that I'm not going to lapse on this shake diet. I committed to it. I paid the money for it. I'm not lapsing. I'm not even going to lapse on the other 8 weeks like that. I paid this money. I'm going to do this program the right way. But I know myself, everybody lapses. My biggest thing is I don't get back on track. I think, which I'm sure a lot of people do, well, the day's gone already. I'll just eat whatever I want. I have a hard time getting back on track, like immediately after. So that's going to be something that I'm going to focus on. Let's see here. Number 4, what are my goals, or what am I looking forward in the next week? So my goals next week are exercise and weekend water. Those are my 2 goals. So weekend water, making sure that Saturday and Sunday I'm getting 64 ounces of water, and that I am exercising 3 times. So I'm telling you right now, in 1 week, I better be telling you that I did good. Okay? I'm kind of talking to myself now, so could you please just go away for a second? Lindsey, do this. So Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to get 64 ounces of water, and 3 times this week, I'm going to do 30 minutes of exercise. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be strenuous, which they tell you they don't want you to do strenuous exercise on this diet because of the low calorie. But 3 times a week, this week, I'm going to exercise 3 times, whether it's just walking for a half hour, but something intentional. Okay, so, okay, folks, hold me to it. Those are my goals for next week. So far, week 1, amazing. It's ridiculously cold here. For those of you that might not live in my area. And yeah, I am really excited for week 2. I hope that some of the issues I thought I was going to have on week 1 don't show up on week 2. Hopefully I can just snowplow right through them, pun intended. But yeah, so I'm excited. Week 1, I'm down another 6 pounds. So excited about that. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe it. Go to my Facebook page, Lindsey Says Stuff, my YouTube channel, Lindsey Says Stuff, and my website's lindseysaysstuff.com. I hope you guys, again, enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I love you, and I will see you later. Okay, bye.